Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Callie from Telltale Poetry, and I'm here to chat with Lisa McDougald about her new book, The Diver, The Journey, The Fall, which is coming out in March of 2019. And it's her first book of poetry, and we're super excited for her. Thanks for being here with me today, Lisa.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So you're in the process of self-publishing your first collection. And so first, I just wanted to say congrats. It's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
book.
Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, now how long had you been working on this collection?
Well, I started out in literally a year. I gave myself a year because I wasn't sure how long it would take, but I knew that I had the pieces ready to go. I'd spent the time to pull the collection together. I had pieces throughout my life from about 1991
Mm.
to present day. So I just thought I'd, take the best of and then try to create a nice theme throughout the book. So I did that. I took the time to do that, and that's basically where I started. And then I found you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Now, what made you reach out to us over at Telltale? What was that process like for you?
Well, basically what happened was, I was thinking, okay, I have this poetry collection. I really need an editor that understands the unique quality of poetry, the rhythms, that understands that. And I know that not just any editor can do this
Yeah.
the way I wanted it to do it. And I wanted somebody that had the right emotional understanding of what it takes to pull out more or push back or what needs to be done. So I basically looked far and wide. I contacted several of my professors at Oregon State University and the UCLA Writers Program, and they literally, they only offered me a critique. And I thought, no, I've been through student critiques. A lot of this work I did in college, and I did, I had critique there. What I needed is somebody to take me to the next level, and they couldn't offer that. And they some of them didn't know where to turn to, didn't know who to turn me to. So I thought, okay, I'm starting from scratch one, so I'll start looking online. So I did a comprehensive search, locally here, and I found a couple editors here. They had no idea as well. So back online, and then I found you. And I was really excited about your website was very professional, and I really got excited about the testimonials because everybody on there, were saying the words that I want to hear for somebody that I want to do my work with. So it was perfect. It seemed to come along just right in the right time.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm so glad you reached out and we were able to help you with this collection, which is just beautiful. And you
So
did most of the process yourself. I mean, we helped with the editing, but you actually handled the design part of it. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like for you?
sure. Basically, what I did is, I had a lot of my work. I pulled it out. Some of it was in archives, so I had to pull it all together, and I printed out each individual piece, and I literally laid it out on the carpet, and just tried to see, how are things pulling together? Is this talking to this? Does this make sense to go here? Maybe it should be introduced over there a little bit later. That's kind of how I did it. So I think, just literally laying things out on the carpet, all of the pieces out, that's what helped me out with the process. And, I think doing that legwork ahead of time when I actually sent it to you really helped me, because I didn't want you to have to deal with all of those things. I wanted you to help me with, hey, do I need to get in deeper in here, or, that kind of stuff. That's what I wanted you to focus on. So.
Yeah, that was wonderful because we do help poets restructure their collections, but
Mhm.
I think you remember from our comments, yours was beautifully structured and we really didn't have that much structural feedback for you. So that laying out process that you mentioned seemed to really work for your collection. And I think for newcomers as well. And So what advice do you have for poets who are wanting to self-publish?
I would say do your homework. Give yourself a lot of lead time. And the first thing I did was I'm going to give myself a full year, and that was the best advice I would give anybody is give yourself a full year from the moment that you're about ready to give your work to the editor.
Mhm.
And so that you can go through the whole editing process. And then, you have to buy your ISBN numbers. You have to do all of that stuff while, that's happening in editing process. And then you have to get to marketing. And that's the part that I recommend. A lot of people don't like marketing. A lot of people, especially a lot of, literary folks, they don't like to market their books, but it's really important. People like Walt Whitman is a perfect example. He marketed Leaves of Grass over and over and over, and look what it turned out to be. I mean, it's this incredible thing, incredible, American literature. And so I can't stress enough, do your homework, give yourself a year, give that leave time. And then I'm looking at my notes here a little bit. I also recommend getting this book right here. This is
Oh, I
Helen.
love that.
Yes, Helen Sedgwick's Legal Handbook for Self-Publishers. It really helped me with the foundation of planning. It helped me understand what I needed to consider, what, legal stuff I needed to deal with, how to set up, if you're doing a self-publishing business. The thing I figured out was that if I'm going to self-publish, I have to have a publishing company. I mean, if you want to be legitimate in the business, you have to have a publishing company. So, and it's really easy to set up. You do a few business papers and it's really easy to set up. There's no overhead. You don't have to pay for employees or anything like that. So it's very easy to set up.
Now with that,
Yes.
you opened up this publishing company, and a lot of my clients, they don't go through that process, but you did. And I wanted to ask you whether or not you're going to be publishing other work, or if this is solely for your own purposes, like to publish your own work and to put it in the world.
At this time, I'm going to say that it's exclusively mine, because there's so much work that has to be put to publish a book. There's so much, and I'm only doing it myself. I have an advantage. I went to school for graphic design, so I have a huge advantage over, the average person doing this.
Mhm.
So I built a lot of my promotional materials, my press kit. I built a little, I'll show you this real quick. This is my little reply card. I don't know if you can see that. And it has my logo, Raven Shadow Press. And then this basically is a piece that would go inside the advanced reader copy. And then also my copies that once I publish. And that's something a traditional publisher does. The only reason I know that is because I worked as a bookseller for 7 years at Barnes & Noble. And I had lots of access to advanced reader copies, and I studied them. I had about 20 of them now that I collected over the years. So I studied them to figure out what did they do, how did they do the back of their book, all that stuff. So study. Yeah. That's what I would recommend. The other thing I wanted to mention too, that's really important, I think, for me, is get involved with a legitimate association that can help you. Independent Book Publishers Association really has been helpful. That was the best decision I could have made. The discounts on there, and also the advice, just their PDF that they have out there that is their membership handbook is a gem. Just to have that. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So I can't recommend enough. It's about $130, I think, a year, but it's well worth it. You get a lot of discounts, a lot of information and help.
That's cool. And do you get access to other people who are self-publishing, or is it mostly resources?
Oh, yes. And so, and the thing is about them, they have a lot of people just like me, where it's a category of self-publisher slash author.
Sure.
So that's that's just somebody exclusively publishing like I am for my work. But there's also publishers that are doing, that are just indie publishers. So this is a nice gamut of people that you can get a lot of information from. And their forum section isn't as active as I'd hope it'd be, but there's a lot of people that if you just search through, you can get a lot of good information just learning about, how do I market or advanced reader copies, and there's actually quite a bit of information of people talking back and forth about it. So I got a lot of good information there. And I also, picking your brain, I think I picked your brain quite a bit when we were working on the marketing text, that and you were extremely helpful. And I just say, when you get stuck, slow yourself down and figure out what you don't know, and just ask a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to ask.
I love that. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask, I think, is the most important one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think is your one secret to self-publishing that you kind of uncovered on your journey?
Oh, I would say that, we all have this idea as writers that, we're going to get into traditional or we're going to get published, and somebody's going to give us a big chunk of money, and we don't have to worry about anything. And maybe we have to do a few edits along the way. Well, you have to get that out of your mind completely. When you self-publish, I really think so, because just forget about that. You need to look at like you're building a house for yourself. You have to put the money into it. You just have to. It's like any good thing, just like anything else in life. You have to put the money into it. You have to plan well. You have to really love the thing you're doing. Figure out all the steps that you need to get there, and then just do it a little bit at a time, piecemeal it out. That's what I did. I don't have a lot of money. I work part-time at a retail job. All my money is kind of slowly going into my book, but, I have to wait. I had to wait a little bit to get the ISBN numbers, but there's a lot of stuff that I did this year that I don't have to do next year when I do it again. So I bought like 100 ISBN numbers, so I won't have to worry about that for a while. And I also documented everything that I did along the way. So I'm taking lots of notes along the way, so that next year, the next year when I'm ready to do another book, I'll have everything right there. I'll know exactly when to do things. So that's what I would say. Patience. Don't worry about, you're going to invest. You have to invest your own money. You can't get around it. Just love what you do, and just take it as you're investing in yourself.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. And what are you currently working on right now?
Well, I'm still working on marketing the book. So I'm reaching out to a lot of my contacts for this poetry collection. I'm just, assuming that I'm like a traditional publisher. I'm going to send out my advanced reader copies. I have 40 of them that are on their way. And I'm going to send those out to very strategic people so in the in media. I have several people in my network, professionals that I think would possibly give me good reviews, a few poets out there that I know. So I'm doing that. So I'm doing a lot of the marketing for this book now. I also have, I have a young adult novel that I've been working on for about 5 years, and I need to pick that back up. So that's kind of sitting there tickling my side peripheral. So
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish it. I need to finish it. It's the one that I spent 2 classes at UCLA getting through the bulk of it. And I am 7 chapters away, but I'm stuck on this one scene. So eventually it'll get there.
Yeah, I find sometimes when you sit on some ideas for a while, eventually new ones will emerge from it.
Yep. Mark Twain said that about some of his pieces too. He said, sometimes if you're stuck, just let it sit there on the shelf and gather a little dust, and then you'll get back to it with fresh eyes. Sometimes you need to have life work on those ideas, and it'll iron out, and sometimes it'll come out faster than you even, you had it stuck for a year, and then all of a sudden you sit down and 5 minutes later it's done. So that's how it happened.
I think that, sometimes with creativity, it just kind of comes up when you least, when you're not looking for it, right?
Yes.
So I think that can be really helpful for your collection. And I know your book isn't coming out until next March, but once it does, where will we be able to find the book if we want to buy it?
I plan on, my distributor is Lulu, and I plan on taking advantage of their full spectrum. So it should be available on Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon. I'm starting out with a paperback right now, but I may be eventually working on getting an ebook. It makes sense. The only thing that I had frustrations with when I started looking into that recently is it takes away some of the beauty of the way the formatting.
Yeah,
and I
definitely
don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not necessary for your book. I think if you see how well it does and see kind of whether people are picking it up and whether you're getting requests for ebooks, then you can kind of make a decision and see. There's
I think that's a good idea. I'll wait and see what happens. I certainly don't have a problem doing it. Because it's poetry and because I have some unique formatting in my poems, I thought it would take it away if I had it in that kind of digital space. It kind of took away some of the beauty of it. So we'll see what happens. I'll definitely be reaching out to my readers once I get that and taking full advantage of the advice I get from feedback and reviews and all that.
Yeah, well, this was great. You shared a lot of wonderful advice that I think a lot of friends of Telltale Poetry will be interested in, and I can't wait to share it with everyone.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, let me show you the cover real quick. I wanted to show you.
We want to see the book.
Back.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is my first advanced reader. It is. You can see the seal right here. And on the back here, I wanted to point out, I don't know if you can see it very well, but I have your quote up here. You're kind of like my first reviewer. I figured that would, it was such a beautiful quote. And I thought, gosh, maybe I could use that. So I appreciate your permission for that. And then this is our marketing text that we worked on.
That looks great.
And I don't know if you can see this, but this is my marketing campaign. Basically it's local author publicity, California industry marketing, e-newsletter blasts, online marketing and social media, NetGalley reader review program. I recommend doing that if you guys want to put your book out there and get some good feedback from professional readers. Take advantage of that. You can get a discount if you have an IBPA membership. And outreach to women's and environmental organizations, because that's a big thing for my heart. There's a lot of kind of environmental subject matter in here, climate change, and lots of poems from a woman's heart. So there's a lot of stuff that's very contemporary to our time right now. So I decided to reach out to some of my favorite organizations like Sierra Club and Emily's List and some of those people.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much for that advice. And now when you did that, the back of the book, when you publish it, will be slightly different, right? You'll be taking off that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the back of the book, this is specifically an ARC or advanced reader copy. As soon as I get all of that aspects or that part of my marketing finished and I'm getting closer to the date, probably about 4 months out, I'm going to make sure that I have everything, take take this little thing off, of course. There's a few little changes I have to make with the text. I need to bump it up and make it a little bit more viewable on top of the black. But, the back here, I haven't decided if I'm going to put a picture in here or not. But I'd like to put the reviews of people that I've reached out to now on the back. And, of course, this part, the marketing campaign will go away. So As it should. As you look at any book on your shelf, you'll see the back, and that's pretty much what I'm going to have. I'll have my logo on the back and then also on the spine. So
Perfect.
yeah, I've really enjoyed the process. It's been a wonderful journey, and I recommend anybody who just is curious, just check it out. It's fun. It's really fun.
Mhm. Yeah, it was fun, and I think you did a great job with it. So it was a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I can't wait to buy your book when it comes out. So I'll share your links at the bottom of this video once it's
Okay.
live, and that way everyone can find out more about you.
Okay. Thank you, Kaylee.
Cool. Thanks, Lisa. Have a good one.
You too.